Hi everyone, can you hear me? Any reaction from your side would be appreciated because I want to make sure everybody can hear me. My name is Anastasia, and I have my colleague Andrew on this call in this webinar with me. And this is going to be something a bit different from what we had previously. So on this webinar, we'll dedicate the entire hour to the Q&A session. So we're going to answer any of your questions, either some like major ones, for example, I work in some trade, for example, electrical, and I don't know how to and what to do. Or maybe I don't know how to use this tool. What is the logic of any tool on the platform? Or it can be some minor questions on the details about some tools and features, or just something that can potentially make your work more comfortable. And my colleague Richard joined as well. So I'll be helping Richard and Andrew on this call, just to I will look through all your questions. By the way, please, to start this call, we would need to get some questions from your side. So please write any of your questions that you have in the chat, and I will read the chat and ask my colleagues Andrew or Richard to answer them, and we will try to cover the questions completely. So we're not going to say yes, no, or I don't know, give it just a short answer. No, we will show you what you can do on the platform and answer each question in a very detailed and specific way. At least we'll try to do that. So yes, I'll be waiting for your questions in our chat. So please, anything that you have in mind, anything maybe that you wanted to try recently, or maybe something that you had any issues with, please let us know. We will answer. And I'll be looking through everything. All right, I can see a couple of questions already. So yes, I believe those are pretty common ones. So guys, could you please share some information about the custom category in auto measure, because I believe the other categories are more or less clear, but custom one may be a bit confusing. Would you please?
Sure. Thank you, Anastasia, for the introduction. And about the question on categories in auto measure, I will share my screen and go ahead showing some prompts there. Just a second. Please let me know if you can see it.
I can, yes.
Okay, perfect. So for auto measure feature, we can see that there is a custom category prompt, and we can use it to put our custom keyword there and try automating the takeoff of some specific request. I'll put my elevation plans there just as an example. And yeah, let's see how we can work with this one. I will scale my page, and when you open auto measure, you may notice this custom prompt. Once you click here, you will get the field to input your keyword, and we can try different ones. Let's say facade area. So now auto measure initiates the search, and we see how it processes the facade drawing and identifies the facade area. So basically, this category is prompt sensitive. Depending on the keyword you put there, you will get different results. And once it finishes these takeoff, you will see the suggestion. In our case, this is one result for the facade area, this purple polygon. And we can also try different modes for sure and play around with the AI confidence to see different configurations. But generally, to give an idea on how we can get different result, I will just change it to brick. And as you may notice, this area on the roof was included, but if we input the different prompt brick, now we see that the result is different. So yeah, it always was trying different keywords for different drawings, and depending on the results, moving further with creating or adjusting them using this functionality.
Right. So if you have any other questions about this question, so about this custom category, please feel free to ask them. But we will then proceed with some other questions. So I have a question about file formats and the file formats that our system or platform struggle with. Would it face an issue with PDFs that are not the highest quality, as sometimes somebody receives PDFs that are not of the best quality? Would that impact the workflow somehow?
Yeah, here we don't have any issues with all file formats we support at the moment. So you can see here, one sec, let me share a screen. Basically, Kreo has lots of different formats supported. One second. So you see in this long list, do you see it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in this long list, we have PDF, DWG, some picture files. So you can upload any file in any format, and even if it's low quality, just for the example, I just took some kind of, you see, just a random picture here, which is not even a drawing. And if we try to set a scale for this particular picture, for sure it doesn't work to get the takeoffs done. But just to demonstrate that AI will work here anyway, if I choose one-click area and make a click here, AI will try to measure, you see, the entire facet from the drawing here. I can press create and get this measurement. And just as another example, I just took another picture from the internet. You can see it's like really very poor quality, but even on a such kind of drawing, Kreo will work and will try to measure. You can easily say that you want to include some other part of the drawing, like here, and get this area. Then you can get another area, let's say, of some other part, which is here, and make a click here. So it's not a big deal if the quality has, if the quality of the drawing is really poor. Don't worry, Kreo works with any kind of quality, no need to be extremely accurate, but for sure the best file format to upload is PDF, yeah, but DWG also works nice, pictures works okay, so yeah. Thank you for your question.
Richard, by the way, would you please let us know about the auto count limitation on pictures?
Yeah. If we speak about AA features, all of them work here, except the auto count. You're right, Anastasia, thank you. So auto count works only with geometry. And you can see this message here. If you press auto count, we say that most likely we won't find any geometries here. So we get notification that this feature wouldn't work here. For how you can make sure that auto count would work, you can choose auto count. Now you see you don't have any notification. And if you highlight something, you see in yellow and red all the geometries which will be taken for into account while you search something. So all the features except auto count would work on any drawing, but auto count doesn't work on pictures. Low quality drawings, it's okay, but pictures, no. That's it.
And before you switch to a different drawing, we have a question. I believe that was referred to the previous one that Andrew answered. Can you omit windows? I believe if we build like a facade, when we measure a facade area, if we can remove the windows from the polygon. I believe the question was about this part.
Yeah, so here again, we have a couple of different tools like auto measure or one-click area, which can give you facet area. Yeah, as Andrew already showed, I go to custom category here. I input like brick. One sec. I input brick here. and Kreo will go through the drawing to measure this particular elevation. Then we need to get another measurements for our windows. So window areas here, let it finish for a sec. I give it a name, I know brick as an example, and press create to have this measurement done. Then I go here and input my windows. Again, I press launch to start the AI. While I'm waiting, I will rename my measurement, which is I know window as an example. So now AI goes through the drawing, trying to measure all the windows. Then we can deduct all the windows from the elevation area. I can try to use AI confidence, you see, if this area is not included. So AI confidence allows you to control how many measurements you get in the end. And then again, here you press, let me change the color to the purple one, create, and now I have both areas for my brickwork and for my windows. What I do next, I choose all the measurements, and on the top I have subtract feature. If I press subtract, now Kreo asks me to select the base polygon. It means the polygon from which I want to remove others. I click on the green one because this is my base polygon, and here I have some options. Keep polygons like my windows. If I want to keep them just for the demonstration, I will unselect this option because I don't, for instance, want to keep windows, and press apply. Now I have all the areas deducted. The same works if you want to deduct just one area or lots of different areas from the entire elevation.
Yes, and it works with pretty much everything, not only windows, but kitchen worktops and everything, right? All right, let's proceed with some other questions. I saw a question about the roof pitch. So there is a question how to measure roof area, which is pitched on a plan view. Because my previous software allowed me to input a pitch value in degrees.
Okay, yeah, this is really nice question here about the pitch. Just as an example, let's say that we have some area with a pitch here. Yeah, at the moment, we don't have default pitch option here as an input. We have only high. But two main ways how to input your pitch. First of all, Kreo has a spreadsheet page. So this is just spreadsheet page. And you can move your area in one cell. Yeah, just as an example like that. Move to cell, area, and then input here a formula with sinus or cosinus how to calculate this slanted area. Yeah, just as an example here. Or another way how to do it is to go to item assembly database and set up here formula which will calculate your pitch. Just as an example here, I have a floor, but I can duplicate it and name this floor as a roof. Yeah, all the same things. So I have roof now, and here I can add my pitch formula. So just as an example, pitch is usually a number. I add pitch. Just as an example, I know degrees. Let's do it like that. Great, great. So now I have pitch input in my roof item. What I can do next, I can take this pitch into account here using, again, some formulas. And here we have default functions which allow you to measure it. So just as an example, I say like that. And then here I need to input my pitch. So in that way, you will get slanted roof area for your measurement. How it works, I press save. Now I have this area. I press choose here and assign my roof item. So now I have some extra things which I can calculate based on this thing. How to see it? 1 second. Table with items. And here I can see now my quantity and pitch as well. So you see, pitch at the moment for this measurement is 0 and quantity is here, it equals area. But if I input pitch, I know, just as an example, 45, just like that, I get another thing here. So using this function, you can kind of calculate the right value here for your pitch. And basically, if you have any concerns with that, just drop us a message, chat with us, and Kreo team will help you to set up everything about your roof measurement in the most convenient way. If you use spreadsheet page, we'll help you to set up the formula here. If you prefer to use item assembly database, we'll help you to set up all the nice formulas in your item assembly database.
Right, and you only do it once. You don't have to create like the item each time. You just create it once and it's always in the database. All right. Richard, I have another question about the database. So there's a question, which NRM sections is your software strongest in and which sections is weakest and why? It's about NRM sections.
Yeah, if you mean about AI, basically AI can measure anything here related to any section. Such tools like one-click area, one-click line, they auto count, they allow you to measure mostly any type of measurement, is it linear, count, or area, for any type of drawing. Yeah. So just as an example, one-click area, it works for anything here. If I need to measure this area, I can just make a click here. Now AI analyzes the entire drawing, and now you have this area. But in the same way, you can go to any other drawing here and use one-click area to get any other thing here. And yeah, Anastasia, you're right here that in Kreo you can have some kind of breakdown property. This is how it looks like by default, but you can extend this with your extra detailed code. So basically, any section of NRM can be measured in the same way. Not a big deal here. The only exception here is auto measure, because auto measure works mainly for chapter 2 and 3. Yeah. If we speak about MEP sections, you need to use some other tools, like, for instance, auto count or text search.
Right. Thank you. And I have two similar questions, so I will try and ask them together as one question. So there is one, how does your model handle project-specific conventions and unique measurement rules? How do you offer users the ability to train or fine-tune the AI on custom drawing sets? That can be the first part of the question. And the next part, like, we can get it from it. Can the AI learn from our past project to improve future takeoffs? So can we train the AI on can the customer train the AI on their drawing, and will the AI be trained and learn from the work done?
Yeah, this is one of the most kind of famous question, I would say. So if we speak about automatic training, AI doesn't learn from the measurements because from the measurements you do, because maybe in some case you do it not exactly like it should be done because you want to save time or stuff like that. So AI takes into account only the drawings which are included in our data set. So if you see that something goes wrong on your particular drawing, just let us know again using the email or chat with us button here, and Kreo team will include your drawing in the dataset to support such kind of drawings as well. At the moment, we have really lots of drawings. It's about 1 million, if I'm not mistaken, drawings included in the dataset. So mostly any type of floor plan or elevation are included, but on some specific, I know, overloaded drawings with lots of information, it can go wrong in some cases. So we are constantly teaching our AI when we face some new drawings here. So the main answer here that AI doesn't learn by itself, because AI should know which measurements to take to make sure that they are correct. So AI will create the same nice, accurate measurements. But we can easily include your drawings in the data set if you see that AI doesn't work for your particular drawing. Yeah.
And there was a part of the question was about the rules. If you as a user can set some rules to tell the AI how and what to do.
Yeah, here we have one tool which is called find similar with AI, which is now in beta, but we can share this access to that tool for you. Just as an example, this allows you to create more customizable measurements. So, for instance, I want to measure this floor plan or some rooms here without the kitchen tops. So I can ask AI to exclude my kitchen tops and make a couple of measurements like that. Just as an example, floor, press create here, and then I will measure another one, which is here, just as an example, like that. So using such kind of tool here, which is in beta at the moment again, but we can easily provide access for the tool for you. Here I choose now both areas and ask AI to find similar. This is a feature located here. And now let me make search zone a bit smaller, just to save time, not to wait the entire drawing to be measured. So now AI will go through the drawing and will try to measure things in a similar way, like you asked it to do. 1 second. Here. Yeah, it doesn't work perfectly here because this feature isn't better, but let me try to choose more detailed quality here. Okay, unfortunately, this example doesn't work here. Let me see. No, but basically we are working on such kind of tool which will allow you to measure something in a specific way, and then AI will measure all other things just in very similar way based on your examples here. But as you can see, this feature isn't better. It works for some drawings, but unfortunately not in this case here. Okay.
All right. But there is no, I just wanted to mention, because I get this question a lot, if there can be just a prompt as in ChatGPT, so a natural speech model. Kreo is not a natural speech model, so you cannot just type in prompt and except for custom category, not a measure. So that's just the question I get a lot. Also, I missed one of the questions from the very beginning of this webinar. Is it possible to take QDY by drawing arc?
Okay, so basically, if you have any kind of, a shape like that, AI can measure such kind of things without any dots here. So you see, AI measures this circle perfectly, but if we speak about arc tool in Kreo itself, no. So if you need to measure any arc, you just use regular tools or AI tools. They will measure it perfectly, but you can see here that we just have lots of linear sizes, which are smaller. So in the same way, you can measure it manually, just like that. As an example, you choose polygon tool and just set a bit more points, just like that, to measure kind of circle shapes or arcs. So this is how it works here. Again, AI has no issues with measuring this in really nice, accurate way. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Mm-hmm. And the next one, can we export the markups to edit on other PDF editing software like Bluebeam, or are they only editable in Kreo?
So yeah, all the measurements are editable only in Kreo. If you export all your measurements here, so you'll get a PDF with the measurements on top of your drawing. Here you have lots of different settings, which pages you want to export, which styles you want to apply for your drawings, which measurements, all or only visible, because you can hide some measurements and do not export them, and some other options like, for instance, here, company logo, you can export that, like a watermark and so on, but all the measurements, they will be non-editable after you export them in the final PDF output.
Mm-hmm. And we have some other question. Can you show me some examples of the different formats that data can be exported out into from the Kreo software? Say, for example, if I want to transfer data into an XMLS format, so Excel format, and estimating programs. So it's about the estimation export.
So yeah, here you have, first of all, a couple of different types of reports. As I already created, we have spreadsheet page. Here we'll also have some table with measurements, which is very configurable here. By default, it's just flat list of your measurements, but you can easily configure how it should look like. Just as an example like that, maybe, where I want to see only my measurements and the total area. And then you have a couple of options how to export it. First of all, you can export this to Excel just like that. And you have all the tabs that you have here in Kreo. So I just removed this measurement. If you have a couple of tabs, couple of spreadsheet pages, couple of table with measurements, you will have just the same in your Excel. As an example, I just choose brick, choose the cell, and move total area of this brick here. In another cell, maybe I want to move, I know, total perimeter. Yeah. So if I export it to Excel, I got it completely in the same view in my Excel, including all 3 tabs here. This tab, and that tab. Additionally, what you can do, you can export it to CSV, and also with our API integration, we can set up direct kind of integration with any other software you would like. But if we speak about output, the main file format which is available by default is Excel, and you can also export this to CSV, again, with addition to exporting your drawings to PDF as well.
Thank you. Can I add custom information for each markup? For instance, a specific column to add the specification reference of the item I'm measuring.
Yeah, here we have special item assembly database, which is done just for that particular purpose. So how it works in item database, you have properties, and you can create any property. Just as an example here, you see I have NRM breakdowns. I have some estimating parameters like quantity, rate, total cost, maybe type. And you can use any other parameter, which can be text, numeric, or like you can see here, my type is single select list, from which I can choose one particular value. So the only one thing is to stop your database initially. Again, here we can give you as many assistants as you need. But then after you set up some custom properties you need, you can fill in them for all the measurements here in this right panel, the same as you have these default properties here. In addition, here you always have this option where you can add something new right in Kreo project. You can add new item, here you can add new properties and stuff like that. So this is how it works.
Thank you. And I have a very common question. Please show us how to scale all pages at once.
Yeah, so in Kreo, if you set a scale, first of all, you can see this scale here. It means that this scale is applied for that particular page. I can open now this page, and if I go to scale option, I go to scale multiple pages. So this menu now allows me to choose some other pages which have just the same scale. So if I see that these 3 other pages, they have the same scale, I simply click on them, or I can choose the entire file here, like that. So I have 4 pages selected, and now if I press apply, I apply the same scale for all other pages. So I just do it like that, go to File Manager, and now you see all these 4 pages are scaled except this one. So the same, you can go to this page, go to scale, scale multiple pages, you scroll here, click here to scale the entire or choose the entire file. So in that way, all the pages are selected. You can see 7 and press apply to scale all of them at once, like that.
Great, thank you. Before I proceed with the next question, I wanted to ask you if something wasn't clear enough for you, if you need us to elaborate on any of the questions asked before, please let us know. And please add more of your questions, because I can see that you stopped adding the questions, so I will get back to one of the questions that I had before. So it was about the ad account, the feature that we added recently about searching across multiple pages simultaneously. So I know it's not going to be simultaneously, but could you please show us how then?
Yeah, so here we have updated auto count tool, and how it works here, again, let me increase now the session area. So auto count, how it works, you highlight one particular element. Just as an example, this can be a door, a window, or such kind of sanitary element, column, anything from MEP. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples here based on that particular drawing. So with the auto count, I can highlight this door, and I can press search to find all the same doors for this page. Let me rename my measurement, door. And now I have really nice button called Save for Next Time. So if I press Save for Next Time, I can easily go to the next page or previous page. So I click Save for Next Time, press Create to have my measurements for my door. I go now here, I go to auto count, and here I have previous launches. I can click on that door, and now Kreo will automatically launch the search based on your previous drawing, but for the same element. Now you see it's correct, you press create, and now you have two measurements from both pages. The same works with elevations here. I want to highlight another nice important feature that in case you have any text annotation, you can use auto count for it as well. I just highlight this element on my drawing. I press search, 1 second. And now you see Kreo finds all these elements, but they are included as one category, W5, 6, and so on. Then I can choose here special options, split them by text. And if I press split by text, now all of them are divided by the text inside. So you can see that they are basically split by all these types. Before pressing create, I press save for next time, press create now here, and I have all these types here. Now I can simply go to the next drawing from the set, let's say that one. Again, go to auto count. I have already saved search, click on that save search, and now Kreo tries to find all the same things, but on that drawing. Please note that here, if some elements are not highlighted, it means that they have another geometry. So now I use these things to count all the same things, press create, and I have all these measurements from the both pages simultaneously. So you can count geometries on multiple pages, not at once, because it would be really hard to validate them. You see, if I go to this drawing and launch auto count, I have really lots of different results. You need to validate them and make sure that all of them are correct, that they all exactly what you wanted to include. And at the same time, you can easily go to the next page with no need to highlight any other geometry again. You just choose from the already available list. It's some kind of legend of your searches. And you just click on this type, on that type, and find all of them on the next drawing.
Thank you. To be honest, it's one of my favorite updates. And I believe everyone who works in MEP or counting doors and windows should go and try this new account update, because I'm talking about it all the time. So yes, hope you like it. A couple of other questions. So just a moment, I lost it. Do you offer API access for firms that want to embed takeoff automation into their internal tools?
Yes, we have API access. We have our default API, and we can also provide a customized API based on your particular needs. But anyway, you can integrate Kreo with another software using API or any other tool. So not a big deal at all.
I believe the question, since you mentioned an API for the reports, and I believe the person meant to ask about the takeoff, the AI tools. Can we integrate the takeoff? Can we create an API to embed takeoff automation? So our tools. Still yes, right?
It depends. It would be better to hear the particular request, but I think that the answer is yes. Yeah.
Thank you. So how customizable is your platform to align with our internal build and standards? Can we add description to the markups before the export?
Yeah, here it works just in the same way. if you use Kreo spreadsheet page, you can have a couple of different columns just as in Excel, like code, I know description here, or I know maybe name. Yeah, then you have quantity, then you have, I know, price or description here, and you can export this Excel just like that. In addition, again, you can use these tables to export all the measurements, yeah, in a way you need. And here you have all the possible options which you can export, like file name, page name, parent group, and so on. We don't have description field for the measurement by default. So you can use measurement name, or you can use group name if you use groups, or finally, you just go to item assembly database and create description field here as an additional property for your measurements. So in the end of the day, you can easily export all the data in any format you need, again, which will be aligned with your internal standards, with all the descriptions in any format order that you prefer here. Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to add that in database you can add pretty much everything except for images. So codes, description, prices, markups, everything can be added there. And yes, it will. Everything you add will come as a column. Like every property you add, it will come as a column. And yes, you will be able to see it in your report, in items report. So that's the question we've been asked a lot of times. So everything you create in your assemblies database will be presented in your items report later. So description, codes, markups, cost, total cost, everything. Yes. And if you need our help in adding anything to the assemblies database, just let us know. Andrew Rachel will have a call with you on what to add, how to then see it in the report. So it's not a problem. Just let us know if you want to build a database. We will help you. In relation to exporting data, can you export all measurements and description as one file for a preset of measurements rather than individually as presented?
Yes. Again, it's completely up to you. Kreo outputs, they allow you to configure any kind of output you need. So if you export spreadsheet page, you just choose exactly how to organize your data, because it's just a spreadsheet page. If you have this takeoff report or table with items, so in them you have a bit limited options, but anyway you can export all measurements and description as well as one file. So not a big deal as well. And you can split them by descriptions, not by measurement name and so on. So you can use description as a main parameter. But initially, you need to create description, as we said before, in the database here. Yeah.
Great. Another question. How do you manually include the missing doors on ad account?
Okay, yeah, this is a nice question here. If some elements are missed, first of all, it means that maybe they have another geometry or another size. So you can see here on that particular drawing that this door, maybe it's missed. But if we choose auto count and try to highlight this door here, press search, we will see that now Kreo will find all the same doors from the drawing. So it means that it's just another type. So you see all these doors, they are wider, bigger, so it means they are another type. And you can create them as another door count if you need to unite them into one category. So if you speak about case when the door is really missed, I mean that here we don't have enough doors, you just choose the particular count you want to continue, and here you have a button which is called continue. And you just continue creating points manually, so you're just adding or editing the measurement which was created by AI. Not a big deal at all. You can add these points, vice versa, you can delete some points. All the kind of modification tools are available here, so you can simply choose these points and press now delete or split them into a separate count. So Again, if something is missed, make sure that this is just the same thing that should be included. And if yes, you can easily include them by launching auto count again for another geometry, or you can easily include 1 or 2 points or as many as you need using continue feature here, just like that. Yeah.
All right, thank you. The other question, what feedback have you received from clients who switched from other AI takeoff tools?
So we receive really a lot of feedback on that point. First of all, is kind of speed and lots of different categories that Kreo can measure. So if we speak about such tools like one-click area, one-click line, and auto count, they work for any drawing again, and you are not limited by a drawing type. You are not limited by anything here. So it works for any drawing, any type of a drawing, any quality, and so on. Additionally, Kreo is a very comprehensive software. It's very flexible here. So first of all, you have a really nice item assembly database, which is mostly unlimited here. You can create any parameter to keep your price in there, formulas, anything else. Additionally, you have a spreadsheet page. If you prefer to use spreadsheet page, you can use one software to build your report and keep all the links between your measurements and your output. And additionally, here we have really nice collaboration tools because you can collaborate live in your project. You see, I can just basically mark Anastasia here and ask her to see what's wrong here or no. She can reply then for me later and so on. So basically, again, here AI is not limited to the drawing type or type of or quality or type of takeoff you need here. And additionally, Kreo has lots of extra features like item assembly database, templates, collaboration tools, which allow you to get most of your kind of takeoff and estimation process.
Yeah.
Since yes, if I'm being realistic, most of our clients are switching from either manual or digital takeoff. So AI is something very, very new in construction. So clients are mostly switching from something more manual. So for example, yes, manual digital platforms or pen and paper to something AI based. So usually we get feedback from clients comparing different softwares during the test trial. What I, for example, hear a lot is, yes, Richard mentioned the database and the estimation capabilities. Yes, that's not what each platform has. And also there are some platforms that are like trade specific, which is great. For example, for MEP or for something else. But in Kreo, we try to cover all the trades, so you can work with all the trade from something structural to, I don't know, floors, walls, and landscape and everything. And that's what our clients mentioned because especially, for example, general contractors who need to work with every and each type of drawing. So we try to cover pretty much every trade. And that's the feedback I've heard.
Yeah, probably it's worth also mentioning that beyond the centralization users get when switching to Kreo and having their entire process, like from takeoffs to estimating and getting the output in desired layout, the report templates feature, then that there are some users who and customers who try to achieve some really specific kind of output, maybe proposals in PDF format or some complicated cost plans with many tabs and different breakdowns there. And when it comes to such requests, we always open to more like deep level of collaboration, and we suggest the service called report templates when we perform the feasibility study and see if this layout may be achieved on the back end of Kreo, and our team implements the report template feature when it's possible for users to get final output using the template, and the entire process looks like that. User opens the project using the template, then use AI features to get the takeoffs, distribute the results between groups accordingly within the preset or the template, and then just clicks export and receives the final proposals that may be sent right away to their customers, let's say like that.
Thank you. I have another question, which I don't really understand, to be honest. Maybe you guys will. How can I do an estimate over Kreo?
So if we speak about estimating in Kreo, basically how it works, you have item assembly database. This is the first approach. And in this item assembly database, you have all your items that you need to get pricing for. For instance, painting wall. You, again, here can have material and labor separated or together. And very simple logic, you have quantity formula, rate, total cost formula. Again, in this example, it's extremely simple, but it can take markup into account and so on. Another way is just to have some kind of template in Excel here, which can be linked again to your measurement breakdown structure. What I mean, here you have some chapter, just as an example, concrete walls. Yeah. So I can have my concrete walls, and what I can do, I can have concrete walls here again. Then I just link my quantity field with my group. How it works, I just do group to cell and do volume as an example. Then here, concrete walls, for instance, formwork. And for formwork, as an example, I need my vertical area. So the same, I just move vertical area here, maybe multiply this by 2. Once I fill in this group with my measurement, so height 3 and thickness 0.3, once I create such kind of measurement on the drawing, as an example, let's say that this is my concrete wall, yeah, I press create, and my values are automatically moved here. So if I have here another column called rate, I can input my price here, let's say 100 and let's say 50, and then I can have my total column, which is my quantity multiplied by my rate, and I can easily extend it like that. So the main thing, it's up to you. Would you prefer to use spreadsheet page or item assembly database? Anyway, you can get estimate here. And then, as Andrew already said, we have a couple of nice special features for exporting to get your final BOQ, proposal, or cost estimate right from Kreo.
Thank you. And I have two similar questions again. The first one, do you offer training or support during the trial period? And the other one, what support do you provide in relation to training users? Could you also give me a sense of how long it would take to learn how to become a reasonably competent user? The more calls you have with Andrew, the quicker the process is. Andrew, would you please answer this?
Yeah, for sure, we offer trainings and onboarding sessions, and generally during your 7-day trial, it's reasonably possible to become a competent user. So to give a range, like it takes about 2 to 7 days to become a competent user. It depends on the previous experience for sure, and for amount of time spent on learning that. And for sure, it's always good idea to share your materials in your previous process description before the training, so our team will have time to prepare better and make these training sessions tailored and focused on the getting you to know software and use that and get most of it. So yeah, for sure, training support is available once you start your trial, and you have the support chat there, as well as links to book training calls. And yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to ask Richard. Please show us the support chat, because Sometimes it's difficult to find it, but it's very important.
Chat with us, and here you can drop us any message so to ask your question and so on. And here I just want to add that usually 2 1-hour sessions is more or less enough if you had some experience with takeoff software before. So during the first session, we will discover main tools which you need to learn in Kreo. But again, you see, if we speak about linear measurements, it's pretty simple, just the same as you did it before. You just choose, press on the plus button here, polyline, and you just draw a polyline. You need to finish it in some ways, and so on. If we speak about AA tools, we are trying to make them as simple as possible. So again, just as an example, if we speak about one-click area, yeah, the logic is extremely simple here, that you just make a click somewhere in the middle of the room, and then AI creates this room for you. If you want to make it bigger, one more click outside, AI makes this measurement bigger. You want to exclude something, click inside, so AI will try to exclude this part of your drawing. Again, include here to include that. So you see, learning this tool will take about 5-10 minutes, no more. At the same time, the second session is useful, where Kreo team will walk you through exact measurements you need to take from the drawings. It will help you to see some maybe edge cases or some particular tasks that you need to do with your measurements, some way how to adjust, some tricks, and so on. So as Andrew said, usually it's about like no longer than 1 week. Again, it depends on your previous experience with takeoff software. Yeah, thank you.
Right. For everyone who watches this webinar and maybe the recording of it, please book calls, because for some trades you will find similar with the AI that Richard showed you, how to use AutoCAD properly. And it's not like you will spend a lot of time before like finding the way to do it precisely. So please book calls. We really encourage that. Thank you. I also have another question about, will custom measure internal partition? I believe that's the custom category in Auto Measure, and it's about internal partitions.
So for internal partitions, if you need to measure them by centerline, we have just walls. So walls category at the moment isn't better, but it goes through the entire drawing, and I see very similar question about wall split by types and thickness. Unfortunately, at the moment, AutoMeasure is not capable to split your walls by types, by color from the legend or stuff like that. But at the same time, Kreo can try to split your walls by thickness. So if we speak about that particular category, it can measure all internal partitions with external walls, internal load-bearing walls, and stuff like that. And then in the end of the day, you press create. If you have any walls group, just as an example, 1 second, I have some group for my walls, yeah, and I press create, and now I have all these walls split by thickness here. Yeah, then I can validate. If I don't need some of my walls, I can just simply choose all these walls here, starting from here to here, thick walls, which are kind of external, and load-bearing walls. And in that way, I can leave partitions only. 250 is also too thick. But here you see, in that way, this is how I easily can get all the partitions here. Again, it also requires some validation, because maybe in some cases, these walls you don't need. You simply choose them and delete. But anyway, Kreo AI allows you to get measurements, and then you easily validate them going through the drawing, remove some unnecessary measurements. Maybe in some cases you will need to add something. This is how it works. And AI can split them by thickness, but not by wall type, which is written somewhere in the legend and so on. So this is how it works at the moment.
Thank you. And I have two similar questions. How accurate are the measurements in comparison to manual measurements? And the other one, just a moment, I lost it for a moment. Have you conducted any testing in relation to accuracy of meters, square meters capture? For example, if you're producing full bills of quantities manually in, say, Bluebeam, would the Kreo quantities be as accurate?
I would say that usually AI measurements were more accurate, again, after the validation. If we speak about one particular takeoff, it definitely will be at least the same with the same level of accuracy, because Kreo AI, it doesn't try to save time or stuff like that. If I zoom in, you can see that each point is exactly in the middle. So AI uses snapping, if it's a PDF drawing, to snap your measurements to make sure that it's extremely accurate. Because if we speak about manual measurements, sometimes maybe just because of mistake, or because maybe you just want to save time, or maybe some takeoff software, they don't have snapping at all. So if I turn off snapping, I will try to set point here, but it won't be exactly maybe in the point I need. So sometimes if I'm trying to do it faster, maybe I will miss some points or will not them perfectly accurate. So at least AI works with the same accuracy. Again, during our testing, on average, you see, on average, AI will make it more accurate. If we speak about one particular measurement, for sure, it will have at least the same level of accuracy, because AI tries to make it as accurate as it's possible. And then, if we speak about overall accuracy, it's about 99%. Again, because sometimes AI creates some errors you don't need, but after a quick validation, you can easily delete some measurements or create some measurements which are missed. Again, the main thing here that you always need to check what was measured, how it was measured, and make some adjustments if needed. Most of adjustments you need to perform are kind of deleting, reclassifying, maybe moving into a custom breakdown, maybe split your walls by types. But if we speak about geometrical accuracy, it's extremely high. Maybe AI would measure something you don't need, so it's also related to accuracy, but this thing will be measured really accurate at least. So this is the answer here.
Right, no precision comes without validation. So always validate what the AI gives you. That's right. Another question. I also saw a little comment, like a compliment from someone who's been using software for 2 months and found it really helpful. Thanks to Andrea, I believe, with helping to onboard. So thank you very much for leaving this comment. Yes, and we will proceed with questions. Regarding exporting the bill from Kreo, does this mean that we can customize the bill in Kreo to our preferred format and export any markup in that format?
Yes, this is exactly the feature Andrew talked about. Unfortunately, I'm not capable to show you this right now in a very quick way, but basically here in Kreo, we can set report template based on your particular needs. You just share a couple of best practice documents, and then we set up them for you. If you need BOQ, we set up a BOQ. Cost plan, proposal or quote, okay. No limits mostly, because this feature is based on Excel. And in the end of the day, you get exported Excel with your own format, your own company logo, colors, styles, and so on. So basically, no limits here, but we just need to see how your file looks like. We can export mostly anything there.
Thank you. How does your software detect the center line of the walls?
So yeah, how the center line is detected is just tries to measure the entire wall, and then it tries just to create the line in the middle. So you can basically see this when I press walls, it goes through the drawing and tries to highlight, no, we just hidden this for now, but basically under the hood, it tries to measure the entire wall, and then based on this thing, it tries to detect the thickness. And another thing is to build center line here. So that's why how you get center lines. And in addition to this, if someone who asked about partitions, here we have another category called, which is called wall internal finishes. This category will measure your wall internal finishes based on internal side. So it will create a couple of measurements from each side. And here you also have It will take a bit time here because pretty big drawing. But what I'm saying, this category wall internal finishes will measure all the walls by internal side. So
Richard,
maybe
I'm so sorry. We have 1 minute left. I just don't want to be cut off at the very middle of what you're showing. So I see a couple of more questions. Please use chat with us option because this webinar will automatically end in a moment. So before everything ends, thank you very much for joining. All the questions, please refer any questions to the support chat. We'll be there to answer, book calls, especially if you're just testing the software. Please book calls with us. And yes, thank you very much for joining. Maybe we will set another Q&A session later since we received a lot of questions and I liked it personally. So yes, I'm sorry, Richard, I cut you off in the middle. So yes, thank you very much for all your questions. Let's stay in touch and maybe we'll book another webinar. And yes, all the questions, just please let us know what you struggle with, what your questions are. We'll be there to support you. Thank you very much for joining, everyone.
thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.